We're going to now add them up. So we got, let's see if I can do it right this time. We got 7 plus 5 plus 3 plus 8 plus 6 plus 7 plus 6. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Now we got to add them up. Either do it on your calculator or you can do it out by hand. It's up to you. So all those numbers add up to 42. Equals 42. And then finally, we're going to divide again. So we divide our sum, our total, 42, divided by our number of numbers, 7. So 42 divided by 7 is 6. So that means student B got an average exit ticket score of 6, which is higher than 4.9. 4.9 would have you in the F range. A 6 gets you a D, which is passing. So student B, despite getting lower scores than average, made sure by completing each one was able to still get a higher score. Okay. So great work on that. Let's move on to the next slide here. So now classwork. So classwork is also, classwork is 10% of your grade. So assessments are 70%, classwork is 10% of your grade. Let's put that in right here. Classwork is 10% of your grade. Problem sets. We're going to have about one a week. One a week. So I'm going to fix that here. You can fix that in your own notes. We'll have about one problem set a week. And we'll have about 2 problem sets a month. Problem sets are 10 to 20 points. Labs, 10 to 30 points. So the thing to know about problem sets is that problem sets are graded for completion. And you can make them up through Google Classroom or from Coach Class. However, labs, while also graded for completion, cannot be made up. The reason for that is labs take a lot of setup. You got to be there the day that I've set up the lab to do it in order to do it. So you can't make up a lab directly. However, if you are really trying to bring your grade up and you want to do an alternative assignment, I will provide you an alternative assignment upon request, which means you got to ask me for it. You got to be proactive and ask for an alternative assignment. I can make you one. It's usually going to take the form of a research paper. So we got our 2 parts of classwork. One is a problem set, about once a week. Labs, 2 times a month or every other week. Problem sets you can complete on Google Classroom. Labs you cannot make up on Google Classroom. You can, however, request an alternative assignment. All right. Next, we got participation. Participation is also 10% of your grade. So we got participation here, 10%. So the main part of participation grade is the do nows. Do nows are actually 10 points, so let me fix that right here. Do nows are 10 points and they happen once a day. So 10 points. They happen once a day for the first 5 to 10 minutes of class. They can be graded for completion, so it doesn't matter whether you get the do now questions right. It's more whether you participated and actually completed the assignment. So do nows are graded for completion as opposed to assessments, which are graded for correctness. And then they can be made up during Google Classroom or Coach Class. We're going to have about an exit ticket every single day. All right. And the next part is actual classroom participation. So the way this affects your grade is I usually add this as a bonus onto your do now. So if you're doing a really good job participating in class, you're answering questions, you're engaging in group activities, I'll be circling the room. I'll be putting 1 or 2 points extra on your do now, so you can get that 12 out of 10, that 11 out of 10. That can really raise your participation grade. So that's participation. Next, we got homework. So I know you all love homework. Don't worry, homework is not a big part of my class. It is 10% of your grade, as it is required in Excel and Baltimore City schools. However, I assign about one homework assignment a week. It's usually a very short reading. So one homework assignment a week. They're about 10 points each. They can be made up on Google Classroom. If you missed me handing out the homework assignment, you can always find it in Google Classroom. And additionally, we usually have time in class. As long as you're good about getting your work done, there will be time during the week to make sure you get your homework assignment done. So if you're diligent, you're paying attention, you'll rarely have to take your homework home. So we got 10 points once a week. All right, so we're going to be practicing calculating grades. So to do that, we're going to have to work with percents and decimals. So I want to just go through that real quick. So the general rule for changing a percent to a decimal is that, or working with decimals, is that you always have to change percents into decimals first if you want to do any math with them. If you want to multiply, add, or subtract, first you got to change that percent to a decimal. So let's put that in first. If you want to multiply a number by a percent, you need to change that percent to a decimal first. To change to a decimal, add a decimal point at the end or the right side of the number. You're going to move it to the left 2 spots. Look at these two examples here. We got 50%. So the way to start is adding a decimal to the right side, and we're going to move to the left 2 spots. So we'll start right here and go 1, 2. And the decimal is going to now end up right there. Same thing with 9%. So 9%, we add the decimal on the right side, that's to the 9, and we're going to move over 2 spots. So start right here on this side of the decimal. We go 1, and then we have to go 1 more. And to move 1 more, we're going to add a 0 right here. So that's how we get 0.09, or 9%. We move that decimal over 2 spots. All right. So to change a decimal to a percentage, so we're going the other way again. Now we're going from the decimal side back to the percent side. We're going to move the decimal to the right.